Good morning, everybody. Okay, so we're doing Act 2, Scene 3. You should have already discussed and annotated this in your groups, so this should just hopefully add a little bit more to the annotations that you've done together. So we are introduced to Jessica here, who is another main character. This is actually a really important character and important scene in the play because it introduces another problem, shall we say, for Shylock. So Jessica says, I am sorry thou wilt leave my father so. Our house is hell, and thou a merry devil. Did robb'st it of some taste of tediousness. But fare thee well, there is a ducat for thee, and Lancelot, soon at supper shalt thou see Lorenzo, who is thy new master's guest. Give him this letter, do so it's secretly, and so farewell, I would not have my father see me and talk with thee. So, lots of interesting stuff here. First of all, the quotation, our house is hell and thou a merry devil, echoes the hell and devil imagery from the previous scene that we discussed. Okay, so there's lots to say, obviously, about our house is hell, the connotations of hell, and the fact that Jessica uses a oxymoron there. She calls Lancelot a merry devil, suggesting that he gives her a little bit of fun in their house, even though he is obviously of a completely different religion. So it shows that she has a good relationship with Lancelot, who obviously is completely opposed to her father and very prejudiced against him. So it's quite interesting from Jessica as a daughter about where her loyalties lie. And then we come and we see that she says, give him this letter, him referring to Lorenzo, and do it secretly. Jessica's relationship with Lorenzo would be frowned upon. Obviously, they were two completely different religions, and Lorenzo is the friend of Bassanio, as we have seen before, and obviously the relationship between Shylock and Bassanio and Antonio is not particularly great. So again, it's kind of a slap in the face for Shylock. Lancelot then says, adieu, tears exhibit my tongue, most beautiful pagan, most sweet Jew. If a Christian did not play the knave and get thee, I am much deceived. But adieu, these foolish drops do something drown upon my manly spirit. Adieu. So, we know Lancelot from the scene before is a bit of a clown, and he is not particularly well educated. In some productions, he pronounces adieu, which shows the kind of constant focus in this scene on Jessica's religion. She's absolutely defined by the fact that she's Jewish. Lancelot calls her most sweet Jew. So there's a real focus again on her religion here as well. Lancelot then says, if a Christian did not play the knave and get thee, I am much deceived. Nice and offensive. Play the knave means play the villain, in this case because of adulterous sex. When it meant to get thee, it meant conceive her. So he is saying that she is too beautiful to be fathered by a Jewish person, which obviously links to that theme of prejudice and anti-Semitism that runs through the play we've discussed before. He then says, these foolish drops do something drown my manly spirit. So, again, harkens back to the gender norms of old. Of course men can't cry, men are too manly to cry. Only women can cry, is what Lancelot means there, which obviously is not the case in the modern day, regardless of what pressures people put on people. Jessica then says, farewell, good Lancelot. Alack, what heinous sin is it in me to be ashamed to be my father's daughter? My father's child, but though I am a daughter to his blood, I am not to his manners. O Lorenzo, if thou keep promise, I shall end this strife, become a Christian and thy loving wife. So, a couple of things here. First of all, it's sinful for her not to want to be her father's child, but that is where she's at. She is ashamed to be her father's child, I am sure partly because of the prejudice against her religion and her father as well. But then she says, but though I am a daughter to his blood, I am not to his manners. She plans to leave the household, but when she says his manners, she's referring to his religion. She doesn't want to just leave the house, but she also wants to leave her religion and convert to Christianity. This little speech then ends, it's not quite a soliloquy, but ends with a rhyming couplet. I shall end this strife, become a Christian and thy loving wife. So again, it's a real emphasis on the end of the scene, and it feels like almost like a vow, like a promise from Jessica. Depending on the director and producer of the version of A Merchant of Venice, they can either play this scene really sympathetically and really focus on Jessica's sense of captivity, her desperation to leave the house where she feels imprisoned, her treatment from others, and the fact that she feels that the only way to get away from the kind of shadow cast over her because of Shylock is to leave and convert to Christianity, or they can really focus on how xenophobic and anti-Semitic this is and play it really harshly. And it's completely up to director's interpretation.